Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I was going to do a video about this, but I decided to just jump on and do a quick live stream about what happened yesterday. And if you guys have been following my work, I had done a couple of videos at least about August 9th and the potential possibility for something to happen to Biden. I didn't know exactly what, and I didn't know exactly how it would play out, but I'm going to share in this video how I came to the conclusion that yesterday, August 9th, would be a very important day associated with the word, well, I'm not even going to say the word, but you guys probably know by the title of this video, the word that I'm talking about, okay? So anyways, yesterday, 8/9, the day I was talking about something possibly happening to Biden, and we get this news that a Utah man was killed by FBI agents because he threatened Biden ahead of Biden's visit to Utah. And again, I was talking about this, and then yesterday it comes out that a guy named Craig Robertson, who just interestingly enough has my same last name, and I'm the guy that was talking about Biden in 8/9, and Craig Robertson, who has my last name, is the guy who supposedly said that he was going to do something to Biden if he came to Utah. I shared this on yesterday's live stream, and I talked about how he had my last name. And then I find out later in the day that a guy named Robbie Robertson, the same day that this Craig Robertson gets killed for threatening Biden, there's a musician named Robbie Robertson who dies the same day. And again, my last name is Robertson. So it was very interesting that all this happened with the last name that I have, and I had been talking about August 9th. If you guys don't know, go back and watch my videos from the last couple of weeks about August 9th and a potential incident with Joe Biden. So once again, I'm going to show you just how this was connected. So you had the two events, the two Robertsons, my last name, tied yesterday. The guy who said he would threaten Biden, his name was Craig Robertson, and the guy musician named Robbie Robertson, also dying the same day. Now, Robbie Robertson was tied with Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan had a song that's also connected to assassinations. I don't remember the name of the song now, but Zach Hubbard was just doing a live stream on that. Big shout out to Zach from Gematria Effect News. Always giving him credit because I was just watching his live stream and I decided to jump on this live stream to talk about it. But anyways, and then the same day that Biden is threatened by this man, you have the assassination of this Ecuador presidential candidate. And what are the chances that I was talking about August 9th and then Biden has a guy threaten him on that day? See, my thought was something was going to happen to Biden on August 9th. Well, instead of that, what happens? Biden gets threatened on August 9th and then another person gets assassinated. And I'm going to show you guys in this video how I came to the conclusion that something would happen on this day tied with Biden and assassination. And I wasn't completely accurate, but I was halfway accurate. And I'm going to show you how I did that. If you guys remember, it was all tied to Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe was assassinated on July 8th last year. And I'm going to show you how this assassination led me to the idea that there would be an assassination on August 9th, which ended up happening in Ecuador. What's up, everyone in the chat? Don't want to make this video too long, but I will give a big shout out to everyone in the chat here. My bro Kevin's in the chat. Hey, Kevin, nice to see you, man. I hope everyone's okay there. You say you're taking care of your sick wife and kiddo. Hope everyone's feeling better. Yeah, like I said, big shout out to Zach Hubbard, who was just live, and he was talking about this same topic, but I wanted to show people, how I came to this date before it even happened, and not to toot my own horn, but just to show how these numbers work, and so we can learn from this, right? So anyways, how did I connect the Shinzo Abe assassination last year to August 9th? And how did it end up leading to this guy also being assassinated on August 9th, this Ecuador candidate? Well, let me go show you the numbers so you guys can understand how I came to this conclusion. The first thing I want to point out, guys, is the guy that was assassinated yesterday from Ecuador. He was born in 1963, which was the same year that JFK was assassinated. In fact, this guy that was assassinated yesterday was born exactly 43 days before the JFK assassination. Why is that 43 important? Because in Gematria, assassination equals 43. So the guy that was assassinated yesterday was born 43 days before the actual JFK assassination. Okay, do you see how perfect that is, that this guy gets assassinated yesterday and he's born before the 43 days before? So just absolute craziness. But let's dig even deeper. How did I predict that Shinzo Abe's assassination would tie to yesterday's assassination? So the clue, it was hidden in this number 78. Okay, the number 78. And just for the record, before I get into that, the name Kennedy equals 78. So this is an important number. It's the 12th prime, and we're in the year of the rabbit. And JFK was assassinated in the year of the rabbit also. And now you have this other guy being assassinated this year in the year of the rabbit. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because 78 is the 12th prime, and in Chaldean, rabbit equals 12. But I just want to focus on the 78. So the name Kennedy equals 78. And we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose uncle and dad were both assassinated. He's running for president. And he actually even posted on Twitter a few weeks ago, or last week, that he needed protection because he was afraid that he might also get assassinated. So anyways, just notice the 78, guys. Kennedy equals 78. Now, Shinzo Abe was assassinated on 7/8 last year. 7/8, like Kennedy. And from his assassination on 7/8 to yesterday on 8/9, when the Ecuador presidential candidate was assassinated, was 397 days. Now, 397 is the 78th prime number. So from 7/8, 397 days forward, which is the 78th prime, you got August 9th. And what happened on August 9th? We get an assassination. Now, remember, Shinzo Abe was Japanese. And yesterday, not only was 78 prime days after his assassination, it was also the 78th anniversary of the Japan bombings. So do you see how this number 78 led me to this date, which led us to this assassination of this guy from Ecuador? Okay. And again, just so you guys can see this, Ecuador, another number that led me to this was the 144. Okay. The 144 is completely tied to all of this stuff. And why is that? Because Abraham Lincoln was shot on 144, which is April 14th. Okay. President Biden equals 144. And Shinzo Abe, the guy that was assassinated last year, equals 144. Okay. And yesterday, when this Ecuador guy was assassinated, was the day leaving 144 days left in the year. Also, words like the Jesuit order obviously equal 144. Okay. And this is obviously a number of judgment in the book of Revelations. It talks about the 144,000. So a huge number. And it's also tied to the number 12, just like the number 78, because I told you before that the number 78 is the 12th prime. Well, 144 is the 12th Fibonacci and the 12th square. So the really important number here is the number 12. But I'm not going to get into that here because that would just make the video too long. So anyways, how did I decipher that this Shinzo Abe assassination would lead to an assassination yesterday on 8/9? It was all about the 78 and the 144. If you guys didn't catch that, go back and watch and until you understand. It's not hard to understand. If you're new to the numbers, It might be hard, but it's fairly easy, once you wrap your mind around it. So again, I just wanted to point out once again that 78 is the 12th triangular number. Okay, kind of like 144 is the 12th Fibonacci and the 12th square. So those two numbers led us to yesterday, and of course, what do you get? You get an assassination. Now, there's another number I really want to talk about here, and it's a number that I haven't really revealed in any of my decodes yet, but this number is very important. So this guy that was assassinated yesterday, the same day that Biden was threatened, his full name in Gematria equals 345. And this is a very important number to this whole ritual. Why is that? Because if you type in the phrase Joe Biden assassinated, it equals 345. And my original decode was for something to possibly happen to Joe Biden on August 9th. Instead, we get Joe Biden being threatened, and then we get another guy getting assassinated. So what a joke that is. And of course, it involved my last name, which just blew my mind. But I just want you guys to also notice that President Kamala Harris also equals 345. And if you guys remember, there's an episode of The Simpsons where Lisa Simpson is president, and she's dressed in the purple attire, just like Kamala Harris was at inauguration. And what's interesting about this number 345 is that every year on Inauguration Day, which is January 20th, the president is inaugurated every 4 years on Inauguration Day, and that day is the day leaving 345 days in the year. So Inauguration Day is, for the president of the United States, is tied to the number 345 because it's the day leaving 345 days. Now, back to the Gematria. Once again, I told you that the guy that was assassinated yesterday, his name equals 345, like the president of the United States is normally inaugurated on the day leaving 345. The Simpsons episode about a woman president equals 345. President Kamala Harris equals 345, and Joe Biden assassinated equals 345, all once again tying back to the inauguration day, which is the 345 days left. I also want you guys to notice that from inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to yesterday was 133 weeks. And I talked about this in my prior videos. Why is the 133 important? Well, because from the president inauguration to 8/9 yesterday was exactly 133 weeks, and president equals 133. So what a perfect amount of weeks for Biden to be threatened and then for another guy to be taken out, because it's the 133 weeks after the Biden inauguration. Okay, 133 weeks, president 133, government 133. So again, it's also was 2 years and 201 days. You guys know about the 201. A lot of you probably do, but I'm not going to explain that here. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to point that out. And I just wanted to point out the odd synchronicities between my last name and how I had been talking about this day. And then all of a sudden on this day, you get all these Robertsons. And the guy that threatens Joe Biden had the same last name as me. In fact, the guy that threatened Joe Biden had the same initials as me, C. Robertson. That's my initials, C. Robertson. So very interesting. I'm not saying that they're doing anything around me. I'm just saying what an interesting matrix we live in, that it ends up being connected to me. I also wanted to point out, guys, that Ecuador, where this guy was assassinated yesterday, it gained its independence from Spain on May 24th, 1822. And May 24th is the 144th day of the year. And I already talked about that number. If you missed that, go back and watch. But May 24th being the 144th day of the year. And obviously 8/9 yesterday being the opposite day on the calendar because it leaves 144 days left. So Ecuador perfectly tied because they gained their independence on 144 day of the year, and then on the opposite day on the calendar, 144 remaining, they have this assassination, which was tied to Shinzo Abe, whose name also equaled 144. Now, let's do a little bit of investigating, because I told you, guys, I forgot to mention, JFK is connected to this because John F. Kennedy equals 59. Let me just take out all these other numbers. I just want to focus on the 59 here. So John F. Kennedy equals 59, and obviously he was assassinated. And yesterday in Quito, Ecuador equals 59. We had an assassination. Well, that comes exactly 59 years after the JFK assassination, which I just showed you. His name equals 59, and the city that happened in yesterday also equals 59. So I just wanted to point that out. That's just a little thing about the number 59. But because I told you that I found the date of the assassination yesterday by using the Shinzo Abe assassination, which happened on July 8th, 2022. So how can we use this date again to maybe see when the next important date for Joe Biden is? Because again, I thought that something would happen to Joe Biden yesterday, but instead some other guy gets taken out. And so how do we use this date again to figure out a very good date for Joe Biden's next important date where we might see some news? Because again, guys, Joe Biden just got threatened yesterday. So are we going to keep seeing these things come up where they're going to keep foreshadowing what might be coming? And I think it's pretty clear all the hints they're giving us. But what I want to really focus on here, guys, is the next important date I'm seeing is August 31st. And I'm going to tell you why this is an important date. And this might be an even more important date for Joe Biden than even it was on August 9th. The reason it is because from the Shinzo Abe assassination to August 31st is the 81st prime. Okay. And this number is so important with Joe Biden. Okay. So from the Shinzo Abe to August 31st is 81st prime. Remember that. Remember, the way I decoded August 9th was I went from the Shinzo Abe assassination to August 9th, and it was the 78th prime. So now we're on the 81st prime. And this is an important number for Joe Biden. Why? Because President Biden equals 81. Okay. And 81 prime days after the Shinzo Abe assassination, just like Shinzo Abe equals 144. You see the 144 in Shinzo Abe and President Biden, but do you see the 81? Okay, the 81. Now, in the election, in the Joe Biden election, Biden received 81 million votes, supposedly. So right here it says 81 million Americans voted for Biden, and President Biden equals 81. And 81 prime days is 419, and 419 after the Shinzo Abe assassination leads us to August 31st. Now, there's another reason that this day is tied to Joe Biden, because this actually falls 81 days before his next birthday. So I want to give a big shout out to Waters Above Crypto, who originally brought this date to my attention. Now, Waters Above is expecting something to possibly happen to Biden on this day as well. That's because it's 81 days before Joe Biden's 81st birthday. And I just showed you it's 81 prime days, 419, 81 prime days after the Shinzo Abe assassination, and Joe Biden received 81 million votes. Not to mention, he beat President Trump, which also equals 81. Notice the overlap between President Trump and President Biden, both equaling 81 and 72. So I just want you guys to ask yourselves, what are the chances that all these 81s line up perfectly with this August 31st date? Now, what's interesting about this date is it's a blue moon. And a blue moon is where you have two full moons in the same month. It doesn't happen often. And two blue moons. So this is a blue moon, and it's 81 days before Biden's 81st birthday, and it's 81 prime days after Shinzo Abe assassination. And I see Rebecca Carrington in the chat saying that Venus equals 81. Correct. Venus equals 81, kind of like Kamala Harris, who would be taking over. She is she is a Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So this is a day to watch. Why is this also an important day besides the 81s? Because this is the 243rd day of the year. And if you type out Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., which is his full name, it equals 243. And again, August 31st, the 243 day of the year. So I think there was something else I wanted to say about this date, but I can't remember now. Yeah, Kevin O'Brien says King Charles 318. Yes, King Charles, who just became king last year. I believe his birthday is the 318 day of the year. Let me check. Yeah, so King Charles' birthday is the 318 day of the year. August 31st is written 318. So I just want you guys to really pay attention to more predictive programming that could come. Yes, Casey Jones, thank you. Venus has a 243-day rotation. Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to remember. And it's the 26th anniversary of Princess Diana's death. So this is a huge day, guys. August 31st, mark it on the calendars. This is also the 3-year anniversary of Roman Reigns, the WWE champion right now, his title reign. So again, so much stuff aligning with this date. And thank you for both Casey Jones in the chat and Rebecca Carrington for pointing this out. It's a huge day because of Princess Diana and because of Venus. What else did I? Oh, and guys, the day before that is 81 date numerology. So I just tied all the 81s to August 31st, but the day before that has 81 date numerology. And in fact, it has 81 and 18 like Venus. Let me just show you guys what Venus equals. And again, Kamala Harris, all about Venus, the goddess, and Venus equals 81 and 18. Just like President Biden, 81, President Trump, 81. 81 days before his 81st birthday. Okay. So that's the next day to watch. That's how I used the last clue to get to the August 9th date. So let's see how it works this second time around and see if we can get another event. Not saying it will happen on that day, but I mean, it certainly will be another day to watch. So let's jump into the chat. Let's see what you guys have to say. Thank you, Modoc Roughstock, for gifting 1 membership. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Modoc. Appreciate you. Also, guys, yeah, again, I have my link at the top, buy me a coffee link, if you guys want to support the channel in memberships or anything. Thanks, Casey Jones, for that amazing connection with Venus. Actually, let's just show how this is connected to Venus. I'm pretty sure I can look this up here. Venus rotation period. So the Venus takes 243 Earth days to rotate one time. So again, why is this connected to August 31st? Well, because August 31st is the 243 day of the year, and it's 81 days before Biden's 81st birthday, and Venus equals 81. And Venus has a 243 day rotation period, kind of like August 31st is the 243 day of the year. Don't forget that Central Intelligence Agency also equals 243. So what an interesting day for them, for a Central Intelligence Agency ritual, and it's kind of connected to the Dog Star Sirius, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Hey, Kevin, if Biden makes it to the start of hockey season, I see some ritual with Jason Robertson. Yes. Of course, you know that Jason Robertson, Kevin is my friend. We talked a lot about this last year. There is a hockey player named Jason Robertson who plays for the Dallas Stars. And we had Robertson threaten Biden yesterday, a guy named Robertson. And what a coincidence that Jason Robertson plays for the Dallas team. And where was JFK assassinated? He was assassinated in Dallas. So yes, Kevin, I believe you're right. If Biden makes it that long, Jason Robertson seems to be a huge ritual, for the start of the season. Hey, Morgan, nice to see you in the chat. Also, thank you for sharing all the great information you normally share in the in my videos. Sirius is Sirius, and Saturn, Saturn. I liked what you shared in my videos about the Uranus and Saturn thing. It was very, very interesting. Let's see. So how long have I been live, guys? I don't know, but I don't want to make this video too awful long, but I think I've covered pretty much everything I want to cover. Once again, just so I can recap, how was I able to decipher that that there would be some sort of assassination thing on 8/9 yesterday? Well, I was able to decipher that because I used the assassination of Shinzo Abe, and I knew that the number 144 and the number 78 were tied perfectly. And the next date to watch out for, guys, is August 31st, which is tied to Joe Biden in 81. John Mendoza, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. Everything's helpful. So here's an update, guys. For all of you guys wondering what's going on with me in Germany, me and my girlfriend have decided because I can no longer stay in Germany I have only 90 days in Germany, so I'm going to be leaving Germany and I'm going to be in Albania because it's a cheaper country and I can stay there for up to a year. And supposedly Albanians like Americans, so I'll be going there. So possibly my next live stream will be from Albania, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do another live stream before I leave. Thank you, Monarch Roughstock. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys would please smash those like buttons or whatever those people say online. Yeah, and thank you so much for the gratitude, and I appreciate you. Yeah, Monarch Roughstock, Albania. Funny, huh? I never thought I'd ever go to this country. It's kind of a country I forgot ever existed. But yeah, we're going to see how it works in Albania. And luckily, it's very close to Germany, and I'll be able to come back to Germany after my 3 months because I have to stay out of the country for 3 months. So that's just a little personal update for you guys. But maybe, hey, I'm going to see some interesting things in Albania. It's right across the sea from Rome, Italy. So there's going to be some interesting architecture there. Maybe I'll take some pictures and videos. Again, guys, I actually visited the founding place of the Illuminati here in Germany because I'm right next to it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, and once again, big shout out to Rebecca Carrington, who was in the chat. She's great with making connections. So yeah, thanks for giving her a shout out as well. Also, big shout out to Zach Hubbard for giving me more clues to make this video earlier. Also, a shout out to Square Peg Divergent. If you guys don't watch her channel, she's been on with me a few times. So yeah, guys, thanks again for coming by. I'm gonna make this video somewhat short, but I appreciate all of you as usual. And maybe you'll see another live stream from me before I leave Germany. And if not, I will see you guys from Albania, possibly on my next live stream. But again, we'll see what happens. Anyways, take care out there, guys. Many blessings to you all. Thank you for all of your great info, and thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next video.